This is apparently one of the most frugal families ever. So, inflation busting New York couple with 9 children who own their own home and have zero debt spend just $364 a month by growing their own vegetables, buying in bulk, and shopping with restaurant supply stores. And apparently, they don't spend any money on contraceptives if they have 9 kids. So let's get right into it. So, a frugal couple with 9 children. Like, just imagine having 9 kids. Like, that is so crazy. Who own their home in upstate New York, have zero debt, and spend just $364 a month. Say they're coping with the nation's record high inflation by doing what they've always done, not spending money. The Sciolito family of Burnt Hill, New York grow fruits and vegetables in their garden, and their grocery shopping is limited to buying in bulk, buying markdown items, and shopping directly with restaurant supply stores. Americans have started changing their spending habits as inflation hits pockets hard, and economists warn a recession is inevitable. But frugal families like Art and Janelle Shalito, who have 9 children ages 2 months to 19 years, say they have a few tactics that could help Americans save some cash. It doesn't affect us as much because of the way we shop, Art Shalito told the Wall Street Journal, adding that the way they save money is not always easy, which doesn't appeal to everyone. People find what we do interesting, but when they find out how involved it is, they're not interested. They want a couple easy solutions. So the New York couple told the Wall Street Journal that they've spent an average $364.74 a month this year to feed their family of 11. This amount is below last year's monthly average of $500. So, as high inflation hits Americans' pockets even harder, the average American has become more interested in how extreme money saving measure can help with more than 80% of consumers planning to cut back on their spending, the Wall Street Journal reported. The Shalito family has been sharing their tactics on a blog and YouTube channel called Parsnips and Parsimony for years. The channel documents grocery hauls, gardening tips, and do it yourself projects. Some of their secrets include checking wholesalers for sharply reduced distressed foods with damaged packaging, designated no spend months when they abstain from buying non essentials, and auditing one or two categories of spending to see where they can shave costs. Art Shalito recently repaired the roof on the family home himself, spending only $1,065.34, which is considerably less than the $7,356.08 estimate they received for someone else to do it. Let's see. The breakdown included shingles, nails, $666.81, flashing drip edge, $124.20, lift rental, $200, trash disposal, $124.20, nail gun, air compressor, $0, borrowed it, and they saved $6,290.74 according to their blog. Prices for groceries rose 11.9% in May from the same month a year ago, according to the Labor Department figures. The Shalitos noted that a gallon of milk, which now costs them $3.89, is up 8% since January when they paid $3.59. They didn't want to reduce the milk they drink, so they save money through a milk club at a local dairy that gives them free half-gallon of milk after they buy 5 gallons. The family also has 38 chickens, which provide them with eggs, another food that has risen in price. Frugality is definitely in fashion right now, says Amanda L. Grossman, a certified financial education instructor in El Paso, Texas, told the Wall Street Journal. But be frugal in good times and bad times. That's how you get ahead. Data shows that many have cut back on large scale purchases, as evidenced by the 2.3% slump in flight bookings and the 4% drop in car sales. Citizens have cited soaring costs, likely fueled by the country's skyrocketing inflation rate, as reasoning for scaling back on vacations, dining out, and routine services like haircuts, manicures, and house cleaning. Economist Larry Summers, who served as the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury under Barack Obama, has also warned that by the end of the next year we would be seeing a recession in the American economy. He argued that President Joe Biden's administration needs to take action to reduce the inflation and provide some relief to the American consumer. Although consumer spending, which makes up more than two-thirds of the U.S. economy, held strong during April, but analysts predict the spend streak is coming to an end. Retail sales slowed for the first time in 2022 last month, and most notably was the 4% drop in car sales. Credit card spend data analyzed by Barclays revealed both high and low income Americans have begun pulling back on routine spending, particularly with services. All through 2022, the narrative has been that as COVID faded, households would ramp up spending on services, and Barclays analysts told the Boston Globe, and indeed, that narrative has been true for much of this year. But services spending seems to be slowing considerably. Spending on travel and restaurants, which had grown more than 30% from 2021, has now slowed to half that pace, the analyst explained. A salon in Virginia said customers who used to come in every 4 weeks are now going up to 12 weeks between appointments. Other customers are opting for less pricey services like partial hair treatments or highlights instead of all over color. The hair salon said overall sales have decreased by about 20% from last year, and tips have fallen from 20 to 10%. Meantime, economist Larry Summers has warned against of a looming recession. Look, nothing is certain and all economic forecasts have uncertainty. My best guess is that a recession is ahead, he told Meet the Press on Sunday. I base that on the fact that we haven't had a situation like the present with inflation above 4% and unemployment beyond 4% without a recession following within a year or two. And so I think the likelihood is that in order to do what's necessary to stop inflation, the Fed is going to raise interest rates enough that the economy will slip into recession. The former U.S. Treasury Secretary said there are not historical precedents for inflation at the rate we now have it, but argued all precedents point towards a recession. If you look at a whole range of indicators, if you look at what's happened in markets, if you look at the relative levels of interest rates of different durations, if you look at surveys of consumer expectations, and if you look at the simple fact that what drives inflation is supply and demand, supply doesn't change that fast. And so mostly what you need to do is reduce inflation, is reduce the demand, and that is a very hard process to control, and so it usually leads to recession, he explained. All that tells me that while I wouldn't presume to be able to judge the timing, the dominant probability would be that by the end of the next year we would be seeing a recession in the American economy. So here's some of the comments. Does the father have a job? He looks a little blank. Gee whiz, why doesn't everyone do this? I roll. On her blog, she admits spending $90 on just bulk raspberries and strawberries. Which, by the way, if you want to save like a lot of money on fruit, buy frozen bulk fruit, especially strawberries. They're super cheap and super good for you. So each of us has a story of how we are surviving. This is their story. Let them tell it. None of us are perfect, but this family is out there doing what works for them to provide a roof over their head and food for their stomach. Instead of casting stones, for once applaud them. They found a way to save money that works for them. Might be a lesson in their story for someone open-minded enough to accept and learn from. I feel like they're kinda exaggerating. When there's a will, dot dot dot. Grow your own veggies and hunt your own meat if you got the means to do it. If you have none kids, none of them are adopted, can your eco stance because it's hypocritical? And that's weird. Yeah, no, by growing their own vegetables, highly doubt it. And the $364 a month does not include insurance, medical copays, the transportation, everything else needed to survive. I guess they never had enough money for contraceptives. Crazy. Feel free to give your thoughts about this if you stumble upon this, if you like this sort of thing. Stay tuned for more financial commentary. I like the idea of them like saving money in this kind of fashion, but again, with everything in terms of like cutting cost, right? You end up getting to a point where the more you try to cut costs, the more you're actually costing yourself trying to make more money. So in the long term, you're actually losing more money by trying to cut so much in terms of your cost. That's why you need like a good balance between like saving on spending and also making more money. Like you really want to work hand in hand with all of that. If you want to learn how to get out of debt and master your money, go to 40inbox.com.